Hi guys, so I'm doing something a little bit different this week. I decided that I wanted to do, like, rather than doing a little on camera intro bit, I just kind of wanted to get straight into the art. So this isn't going to include kind of any on camera moments today, but I just kind of wanted to get to the art. I did have a lot of things to say, so I did kind of record a bunch of stuff while I was making these pieces. I'm going to intersperse some of this in here. But yeah, I'm really excited about this project in particular, Fizz and Asmodeus. I had so much fun with this. I really love how these turned out, actually. Asmodeus is, in particular, I think is so stunningly gorgeous. I'm really excited like to show you kind of the end result, especially, but I was really excited when I started these because I have such a love for Oz and Fizz, and it's so much different than even my love for, say, Crowley and Aziraphale or um, Angel and Alistair. It's such a different thing, but I love them so much. So I definitely was very excited to make these particular pieces. I really love how they came out. I don't know. I had so much fun with this. It's so pretty. It's always interesting to see how things dry down, though, because I definitely feel like a lot of my art pieces dry so much differently than how they started out. And this is no exception. So I started working on Oz's first. I decided I kind of wanted to do like this flame motif. There was a second where I almost felt like, should I just leave this? Because it's so pretty just by itself. It's almost tempting to just kind of like leave it and not do anything, but I was really committed to this like flames idea, so I decided to just go with that. And I used more of my blacklight activated paint so that the flames will kind of be blacklight activated, which I thought would be a lot of fun. I'm really in love with how this ended up turning out. um, I did figure out what the issue was, I think, with why um, the Crowley and Aziraphale one didn't work out as well. What it basically ended up being was the mixture, the like mixing ingredient with the paint that I was using. I hadn't used before. It was like the first time. I might have used it for Osmodius's, but it was kind of the first time I'd ever used it, so I wasn't fully like aware of how the mix was supposed to go. I don't think I did it quite right. So I don't know, it didn't work the way I expected it to. I had been using water for such a long time mixed with paint, and that had a very particular effect that I enjoyed. And I think the mixing medium that I ended up using for Crowley and Aziraphale, I wasn't used to it yet. So I want to practice a little bit more with that and try and get more accustomed to using it. And then I'm going to try it again, because I really do want to, make Crowley and Aziraphale work. I really love, their characters so much, and I love them together so much. So I want to make that work. So I think that was kind of the big thing that didn't work for that one. And as you can see, I don't know what happened with this filming. My camera was apparently at a very weird angle, so it didn't catch quite a bit of this, which is so unfortunate. I'm so sorry about that. I'll show more later. I don't know what the heck was going on here with my camera this week, but it's like, it feels like it's zoomed in, but it's not. So that's what I just don't understand, because I've had it show more than this before, but oh well, what are you gonna do? um, so yeah, I'm really proud of how these ended up coming out. I had a lot of fun making them. I have this whole thing where part of me feels like, I want to do these art pieces as like, when I was making Oz's, right? It was the first time I ever really felt like I almost just want to leave it the acrylic pour without adding anything to it. But for some reason I've got it in my head that, like, even though I know acrylic pouring, that's like its own thing, and that is absolutely plenty as an art form, and it's gorgeous and it looks amazing and stunning. For me, I'm like, I need something that says these characters a little bit more. I need something that just kind of like is that extra oomph, if you will. And so I don't know, I couldn't bring myself to just leave them as just acrylic pours. I still like them overall, how they ended up, but I don't know, part of me kind of wishes I just left at least Ozzie's be. I think FizzaRolli's was, it ended up very good. I like it, but I don't know. I just feel like Oz's was so pretty that I really didn't need to add anything to it. But you know, that's kind of how it goes, isn't it? So yeah, I'm really excited about this. I'm sorry that you pretty much cannot see what the hell I'm doing here because of the crappy camera angle, but I promise it's all gonna look cool in the end. So yeah, thanks for sticking around. I've been working on this fanfic for the last couple days. Because, well, I guess it's been like close to a week at this point. And it's a longer one, which is new for me. And so I was like outlining it, which I normally don't have to do for fanfics because they're, you know, pretty short. But this one's a long fic, so I'm doing an outline. I'm like really feeling like a real writer, guys, which is so funny because you have to understand, like, I've been writing since I was, like 11, and I've taken it seriously the entire time. Like, it's not one of those situations where it was like, you know, oh, you know, you're writing but you're 11, so it's like not that big of a deal. Like, I took that shit seriously from the jump. Like, I took it seriously from the jump. And so it's one of those things that for me, because I have always taken it so seriously, you know, wanting to be a published author especially was like always my biggest dream. And then, you know, as I got older, I've kind of found I'm like, okay, it's not that I don't want to be published anymore. Let me not lie and say that. But I think it's so much, you know, there's so many different ways to be published nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, I can really write a whole ass book that, yeah, it's fanfic, and just post it and have people read it and give me their thoughts and opinions like almost immediately, or as soon as I post something new. And that's just kind of like, I don't know, I love that. I love having that feedback. So I just got to the point where I was like, you know, I don't know. I like having my own freedom when it comes to my writing. I haven't been feeling super inspired with like original stories at the moment, which I don't even know what that's about. Maybe that's just part of this. Has anyone else, sorry, I'm like all over the place. Has anyone else been having this thing where like 2024 has just been a fucking wild ride? And I don't know if I'm going to say that in a good way. It's just been a wild ride. And I feel like there's just so much that's happened this year. And it's just like, it's so, something about this year is just so like frustratingly ridiculous. And I'm so just, I want things to be, I really want April to be better. I really want this year to get better. So I'm really just hoping, putting out the positivity that things are going to get better. But yeah, I'm so excited about this fanfic. Anyway, I feel like I'm like trying to like talk about shit and I'm just all over the place. So excited about this fanfic because I've been wanting to do a longer fic for a long time. Oh, and I'm filming this, by the way, on Angel Dust's birthday, if that was not... well, actually, I guess by now it's probably the 2nd, but it was Angel Dust's birthday when I started filming. I think what kind of kept me from doing it was just myself. I don't know, I just always felt like with fanfic, I had so many ideas for, like, short stories, but long fics, I just couldn't ever manage to make happen, and I never knew why. And then I got this idea, and oh, holy crap, I'm so excited about it. So it is long form. I'm not gonna, I mean, I always feel bad talking about it, because I'm not gonna, like, link it or anything like that. Unless, I guess, maybe if there's a lot of people wanting to see it, and I feel brave, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, I link my videos to my fanfic, so, like, if you know that, you could probably find it. I don't know. But it's not, like, that secretive, but I don't know. I'm
that is one thing I will say is like I used to be really hard on myself with my writing. And I feel like over the last few years, I've really calmed down on that front because I think I just got to the point where it was like, and I think writing fanfic has helped me in that regard because it, so much of traditional fiction and like is like based on predicated on like if you can get a publisher to like it or if you can get a literary agent to sign you so you can get a publisher. And I feel like with fanfic, so much of it is just like, can you write a story that people really just enjoy? And it doesn't have to be anything that's like mainstream. It doesn't have to be anything that like is something that's like the specific thing that publishers want because it's going to pay their bills. You know what I mean? Like, it's so very much like fan fiction is so predicated on just, you know, creating a story that people are interested in. It's like story for story's sake, if you will. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, making something because it's going to sell. It's not making something because you want to know, like, you think it's going to be this like huge bestseller or whatever. You know, you're really just making it because you have a story to tell because nobody's making money off of this. And it's like, in a way, okay, this is going to sound so pretentious. In a way, I do feel like it is the purest form of art because it's not for like monetary consumption. You know what I mean? Like, it's just for entertainment and for pleasure. It's not necessarily to, you know, you can't make money off of it. And so it is really that purest form of art because, you know, capitalism really can't touch fan fiction unless, you know, you change the characters and all of that. But I mean, for the most part, it's not something, it's like this thing that's kind of like one of the last bastions of something untouched by capitalism, which is such a wild thing to think about. You know what I mean? Like, that seems like such a simple concept and also a very, you know, beautiful concept. But yeah, I mean, and it's not to say like, I think all fan fiction is just, you know, the greatest literary whatever, but it also doesn't have to be. That's kind of the point, is it just exists for fun. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad art, you know, depending on who the hell, you know, thinks they're the, you know, literary critic of the world that wants to critique fanfic. It's literally just about that it's fun. So it exists because someone wanted to tell this story with these characters, regardless of whether or not they were going to make money off of it. And I personally, like, to me, that's like what art should be. You know, now that said, I do think artists should make money off of their work, and I think, you know, some wealthy benefactor should pay me to write this fanfic, but that's not the point. You know, just because, I don't know, I love doing it, do not get me wrong, and I will keep doing it for, you know, as long as I can and as long as I have ideas. But it is kind of funny because, I don't know, I'm so on of two minds about it, right? It's like, on the one hand, I do really feel like, you know, oh, this is the purest form of art because nobody's making money off of it. And another part of me is like, yeah, but artists should get paid. Like, authors should get paid. Like, I understand that fanfic is one of those things where, you know, you can't really have a monetary exchange. It's already a gray area with copyright, which I'm sure I've said before. I think copyright is a total scam. It does not protect the people it claims to protect. It's made, I think, a lot of things a lot worse. Makes making YouTube videos a lot harder when it comes to, like, you know, music and also just clips and how you can critique things, because, you know, suddenly things that should be, you know, able to be used in, you know, copyright free they want to claim it, and so they can make money off of this thing from a small creator who already doesn't make a lot of money off of their videos, if anything. And it's just like, so yeah, copyright to me is so frustrating. And I will say this, I feel like fanfiction is already proof that, like, copyright really doesn't have to be this whole thing. Like, copyright can literally just be, look, I created this thing, it is inspired by this thing. It's not that, like, nobody is reading fanfic and thinking, wow, this was created by, the creator of this thing. Nobody is reading, a fanfic that is, like, mostly 100% very explicit, sex scenes, and thinking, wow, creator of this media, this original show is the one writing this, and I'm, sure these characters, this is all canon. Like, no, nobody's thinking that. Nobody is convinced that, these are the owners of this work. And it used to be, there was a time when, people would say, oh, I don't own any of this. Like, this is all copyright from the creator. There are still some people who do that, which I find so funny because it's so, like, such a throwback. Not in a bad way. I mean, it's nostalgic in a way. But I don't know. It's so funny to me because I'm like, I feel like we could live in a world where, so we already live in a world where this is possible, right? Like, we already have a world in which there are stories which are what's called public domain, which means these characters can be written by anyone. So technically speaking, anyone can write, their own take on these characters. Something like Sherlock Holmes has been, like, public domain for maybe a year or so now. There's some public domain. Let's see, what else is public domain? I know, like, most of the fairy tales are public domain. So, like, Sleeping Beauty is public domain as, like, a concept. There's been, like, 22 remakes of Cinderella and Snow White, like, per year from different people because they're public domain, so anyone can write them. So we already live in a world where it's like, the original creator of this story is no longer around, so they don't really have copyright claim. The copyright claim kind of goes to whoever is the most recent one to do it. I don't really understand how, like, I think there's a lot that's unclear about the copyright of things like that. But, like, generally speaking, I do kind of feel like, with something like the system of, the almost honor system, really, that is, this, the almost honor system that is, something that's, not open source, sorry, that is, I just said the word like 3 times and now I can't fucking remember the word. Oh my god, this is so annoying. The almost honor system that is stories that are public domain is like, it's proof that you can really, there's no reason why you can't, like, basically fanfiction couldn't be, like, published and made into a whole thing without changing character names. I really don't think there's a reason why that couldn't happen. And I say that because I just feel like there is no earthly reason why anyone's going to confuse these, and everything, there's so many things that are like other things anyway. So I just kind of feel like, I don't know, everything's a remake and a reboot and all this other shit. So it's just like, why not just make fan fiction something that everyone can do and get paid for? And then say, fuck it. Because then at least you'd have original stories. You know what I mean? Like, I do think to a certain extent you would have more original stories if you just made it so people could, like, make fanfic their own thing. You know what I mean? Because I will say there is more originality in a lot of fanfic than there is in, like, any other type of story anymore. You know what I mean? So, like, why not just make that something where people can publish it and make money off of it. I don't know. Am I not making sense? Am I making too much sense? Who knows? All right. So, yeah, I mean, this is the final product. I'm not going to be on camera. I really don't want to be. But this is the final product. So this is Fizz. I'm trying to get it. I don't know why the hell I cannot get any of this in camera right now. Okay. So let me... Oh, God. Everything's falling. Anyway. So this is FizzaRolli's. I'm so fast. This is so different from anything that I expected, but I kind of love these. I'm going to like take photos of them so I can like show them on like a proper photo, but I just wanted to show just kind of what they look like here together. They're really, really pretty together. I will say that.